Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning to those of you who are joining us online. Our next presentation is from the CALTIME timekeeping system. Please welcome CALTIME.
There are umpteen million different timekeeping systems on campus, and if you're on a paper system, all the paper timesheets and payroll information that we need to store, filing-wise, it's a nightmare. What you see down here, this is only for 50 departments on campus, and they're just the administrative unit. This is a drop in the bucket of tens of thousands of sheets of paper that need to be stored.
I had two jobs before, one at McDonald's and one at a winery, and both of them had computer timesheets. So I was really surprised to see the best public university in the world still use paper timesheets.
The fact that it's on paper and it's a manual process, it makes it really time-consuming.
We actually have everybody fill out an Excel spreadsheet. Some people actually handwrite it on paper, some people fill in a soft copy of it. And then what they're supposed to do is sign it, turn it into their supervisor. Their supervisor is supposed to review it and approve it, and then we give that to our office manager, who is then responsible for scanning all the timesheets and sending them off to payroll.
It could get done a lot more efficiently. I think that people having to fill in things on paper or fill in things in Excel and then print them out and having them come to somebody for signature seems a little bit archaic. The other thing that I've found is not clear is accumulation of sick leave and vacation leave. As a signer, I have no way of knowing whether people have been sort of keeping track of all their vacation, all their sick leave accurately.
One problem with the system, too, is that if I'm out of town, if I'm traveling at a conference or I'm on vacation or something, it's hard to get the timesheets to me. I mean, either they end up getting sent FedEx, or else somebody has to scan them, and then I sign them, and then I have to find a way to scan them and email them back. Obviously, it'd be a lot easier if I had web access and could just approve things remotely.
Because I have two different jobs, I have to get both my supervisors to approve the timesheets due at a certain time of the month. And so it's a lot of hassle to try to be able to coordinate all that at the same time, when it's money that I need to pay for my rent, my tuition, and all these other important costs that come along with college life.
I would say we have a pretty inefficient timekeeping system. A lot of times, too, the program doesn't even, I can't load it at night. For some reason, it works during the day, but not at night. So I tend to, when I'm closing the computer lab where I log my hours in, I tend to have to come in the next day.
In my department, we have two timekeeping systems. We have an electronic database, and we have paper timesheets. So I've got to coordinate payroll for both systems every month.
For the last 6 years, I've been using the same software system that CALTIME is going to be based on. With CALTIME, it's going to be really, really simple. We're going to have ease of accessibility, both for the timesheet itself and your accruals. It'll all be done automatically. We're going to have accountability, and we're going to save a lot of time.
There are a number of units on the campus already using the system, so we do have a track record that it does work. The timekeeping system has streamlined our business processes considerably. It has created a lot of productivity for the staff, and with this process, it's eliminated a lot of errors.
One of the things that I would be looking forward to in the CALTIME implementation is the ability to approve timesheets in one location online, and the ability for both my staff and my student assistants to actually go online from wherever they are, be it on campus one day or in Thailand on vacation, and actually enter their time and submit their timesheet from a remote location if they need to.
You're not tied to a piece of paper that's sitting in a random drawer at your department and in my case, in multiple different places, that if you realized you made a mistake or you worked hours that you weren't expecting, you don't have to go physically track down a piece of paper, that you could go online.
I think that's a huge advantage. If you work for multiple departments, you record it in one location. If you change jobs, we don't have to transfer records. A standardized system will have the rules built in. You just have to record it, the computer does the rest.
It just seems like it's going to make it easier for me. It's going to be easier for the people I work with. We need to make these investments because they're going to pay off in the long run in terms of lower costs and efficiency, and it's going to let us spend our money where we really want to be spending it, which is on student programs.
Good morning. We're delighted. Thank you for responding. We're delighted to be able to join you to talk for a few minutes today about CALTIME. My name is Aaron Anderson. I'm the project manager for CALTIME, and we're taking a little different approach today. Because CALTIME is being built on the basis of what we've heard from all of you at Berkeley, timekeepers, employees, payroll managers, supervisors, we thought it might be a good way to help explain what's coming with the program and explain some of the principles upon which the program is being built by hearing from some of those who have helped build the program from that perspective. So we're delighted to be joined by a student, Rob Poole, who's helping to synopsize some of the student comments about the system today. Two timekeepers on campus, Jennifer Conlew and Michael Thompson, both of whom will be talking a little bit about some of the problems and difficulties they've encountered in working with some of our current systems. And interspersed throughout, you'll be hearing from our lead trainer, John Blake, who'll be talking about some of the ways that these concerns that they'll talk about are being addressed by the system that we're building. So with that, I'm going to turn it first to Rob Poole, who'll be talking a little bit about some of his experiences and the experiences he's heard from his fellow students. Take it away, Rob.
Hi, everyone. So I'm a CALTIME intern, and I'm an employee at the Athletic Study Center. So I get to use our FileMaker Pro system on a daily basis. And as I said in the video, I know when it works, I know when it doesn't work, I know which computers upload the program, I know which ones don't, and I'm lucky if they do it all when I log in my hours at 10:15 p.m. every other night. So, you know, I see the faults with the program. It's slow, it's inefficient. I've talked to a lot of students on campus, you know, from different departments. I know the ones who work with an electronic timekeeping system all have positive things to say. It's, you know, I ask them, oh, how is it? Oh, I log in my card, put in these numbers, take it out, and I'm done. They're indifferent to it, it's working great. But those are few and far between. Most students are using paper timekeeping systems or using my old school systems, and say, oh yeah, it's slow, it's inefficient, it can definitely be improved. For this particular CALTIME system, it's gonna really have a great effect on students with more than one job. I talked to one of my good friends who works with an electronic timekeeping system, and then he has a paper timekeeping system. With an electronic system, he's going to know when his paycheck comes, and it's no problem. With the other one, he goes, oh, I logged my hours, I didn't get my paycheck till February. So over, it took 3 months or something like that. So for someone that's out of state or out of the country in his case, they need to know when their paycheck is coming because they need to pay their tuition or their meals. So it's a big deal. So in the broad scope of things, I think is going to have a really positive impact on all the student employees, especially the ones with multiple jobs. And I think CALTIME is going to receive a very positive response from all the student employees. Thank you.
Currently on campus, 15,000 employees record on paper timesheets. In our focus groups and sitting down with these groups to find out what their problems were, what their concerns were, they identified lost timesheets, obtaining a supervisor's signature, getting timesheets turned in on time, obtaining accrual balances that were updated and accurate, and working multiple jobs which required using multiple systems. In listening to these concerns, we've built the CALTIME program around those concerns. With CalNet authentication, the program will be able to be logged into via the web. So anywhere that you have web access, you'll be able to log in to record your time using the same username and password that you would to any of the other CalNet programs. The program allows the ability to record time off. So by just clicking a drop-down arrow, choosing sick, vacation, whatever the pay code may be, and plugging in the hour directly next to it, the person can record time off. This is it. That is electronic timekeeping. It's plugging in the codes, plugging in the buttons. It's all in real time. It's all electronically transferred. So when an employee clicks that button and plugs in that time, it's immediately routed to the supervisor and it's immediately routed to the payroll manager. There's no delay in that happening. If a person does record time, all they do is click into the button and put the time. They'll put a 7, they'll put an 8, and it records that time and begins to total the time over on the right side. If a person works multiple jobs, the system allows for a drop-down in a transfer window here where they can pick. As Rob talked about, some of the employees, and you saw in the video, who they work multiple jobs, they click down the drop and say, I'm working in the library today, record the time. They click the drop down and say, I'm working in RSSP, record the time, and the time is routed to the appropriate supervisor. Down on the bottom, you'll see that there's also a tab for accruals. Accruals will be popping into the systems, and employees will be able to see these accruals on an ongoing basis. Each will be totaled down on the bottom depending on the accrual code with the information coming across. This again will be available to the supervisors. So as we saw in the video, supervisors don't have the ability to see those on a timely basis, but they do have to approve time based on what an employee says. So both the employee and the supervisor will be able to see the accruals in real time. The approval button. For an employee to approve a time card, instead of putting a paper signature and getting that to their supervisor, they click the drop down, click the approve button, it puts an electronic signature on and routes that directly to the supervisor in real time. Reports. All employees will have access to reports based on all of their information. So at any point in time, an employee can go in, drop down the button, pull any of the reports that are about their time, and you'll see over on the left here, accrual balances, schedules, and time detail reports available, and they can pull those again based on their hours. Jennifer.
Morning. My name is Jennifer Conlu, and I've been working here in payroll on campus for more than 5 years. So whether it was a previous academic department where we managed timesheets for a couple hundred, to now I'm in an administrative department where we're managing timesheets for close to a couple thousand, the challenges over the last 5 years have still been pretty consistent, which is baffling. For one, as you saw in the video, it's been difficult finding space for all these timesheets. For hundreds of employees who have been here for several years, we're quickly running out of space to store paper timesheets. There continues to be a wide variety of different timesheet templates and formats made from Word, made from Excel. I've also seen electronic versions such as eTime or TMS. And again, I'm just still constantly baffled with how many variations exist when at the end of the day, the timekeepers are still reporting data into OPTRS or the payroll system. All this data goes into one system. And I strongly feel we haven't collectively engaged to find a unified solution utilizing technology that's available today. So I'm really excited for CALTIME. And because of these variations in timesheets, like what was said earlier, many employees are unaware of their leave balances. They're unaware that they even accrue leave. They're unaware that their vacation can reach a maximum amount. And even their supervisors are just unaware of how much leave they have available. And those all lead to inconsistencies. And one of our biggest pain points in our department is leave discrepancies. Employees are aware of one set of leave balances, their timesheets reflect another set of leave balances, and our system shows another set of leave balances. So there's been a lot of inconsistencies, despite hardworking staff trying to reconcile those on a regular basis. And lastly, one of the biggest challenges is really chasing down timesheet approvers. As timekeepers, we really want people to get paid on time, especially students who need that money for books, for food, for tuition. And chasing down an approver, whether that's a supervisor, a PI, is a laborious process. Having to even click submit or sign a physical timesheet, we spend tons of time that could be utilized better by trying to chase down someone for timesheet approvals. So I know many of us have just been waiting patiently for an automated timekeeping system here on campus. And I'm just hopeful and encouraged that employees, whether they're students or staff, timesheet approvers, whether that's supervisors or faculty approvers, and as well as timekeepers, payroll administrators on campus will all greatly benefit from what's to come with CALTIME.
Just tagging on top of that, Jennifer didn't tell you, she has 2,000 people in her department, so they have to collect 2,000 paper timesheets and process them at the end of a payroll period.
Good morning. I'm Michael Thompson. I work in the Athletic Studies Center. I don't have 2,000 people. Small department. I've been on campus for processing payroll for about 18 years, and I'm just thinking of the old days of typing that pre-list on the typewriter and running it over to payroll before 9 o'clock. It's interesting. I've worked in several different jobs, and when you go to a new location, here's the new set of timesheets you're working on, and so you're working with that. In that department, you usually do their timesheet, and you're trying to make some changes and say, well, hey, what about this timesheet? And people don't want to change timesheets, and the way they calculate accruals and overtime and stuff may or may not be according to the rules 100%, and they don't want to change that either. So we see a lot of different things on campus that this will hopefully address. It will address. The reporting is always, it would be really nice on it. If there is a discrepancy in balances, you often have to, navigate through OPTRS screens or look in the file cabinet and pull them all out and kind of go through it, and it's your word against theirs, and it's like, well, let me see that, and the reporting function will be really, really nice. Also, when you transfer employees from one department to the next, I always feel uncomfortable asking for the timesheets. It's like, well, you stole the person, now you want to take the timesheets also. So this will kind of make that easier. Well, yeah.
In our focus groups, and we've met with most of the units, payroll administrators groups, and various timekeepers across campus. And the faculty, supervisors, and timekeepers told us that their issues were collection and approval of timesheets, verifying the accuracy of the timesheets, access to employees' leave balances, calculating complex pay codes, managing accrual balances, that it's a time-consuming process in a very small amount of time at the end of a pay period, lack of report access, and maintenance of shadow systems because the way they do it just doesn't work. The CALTIME program will address that because we're giving our faculty, our supervisors, our timekeepers access to approval via the web. So anywhere that they can log in, they can access these time cards and do their approvals. Supervisors will have electronic routing of timesheets. So when a supervisor logs in, they will see all of the people's timesheets that report to them directly on their screen. So they don't have to collect them, they just have to scroll through the window to see the timesheets. When they log into the timesheet, they can see everything that the employee put down. They have the ability to do electronic approval directly on the screen. So they don't have to collect the timesheets. They don't have to hold on to all the timesheets. They do not have to sign all of these timesheets. They click a button on the screen which sends their approval. The little button up at the top allows them to click through and view the timesheets. And this was something that supervisors and faculty told us was important. I don't have the time to sit and go through, track these down, and find these, so we built these into the program to make it easier for them to do that. Processing payroll. The payroll managers will be able to log in and see which managers have approved and not approved. The electronic data check allows everything to be checked prior to being processed and sent over to payroll. Supervisors will be given reports. Supervisors will now have the access to see what's going on in real time on a regular basis. They'll be able to pull employees. They'll be able to pull chart string accounts so they can monitor what's going on. So if they're monitoring a grant or a particular program, they can drill down and look at those type of things. And dump some of these reports into Excel. So if they want to have as much fun as they want with these numbers, they can do all that they want. The solution. The problems that were told to us were concerns to everybody. The solution is getting employees, supervisors, timekeepers in line and in sync with the payroll department. The solution, CALTIME. It's going to simplify, automate, and standardize the way timekeeping is done on campus. The path to implementation. People say when. Our timekeepers say bring it to me now. The process right now is we're in a program build. We're building our program, and we're making sure that all the payrolls, the pay codes, everything is brought into the system so it works when we go live. Then we'll have a discovery and cleanup period where all the different departments will bring their accrual balances, their HCM, which is their input of employees into the system, and it will all be cleaned up and transferred over to make sure that the data is good when we bring it over. Then there will be training. There will be lots of training. So for all of you who are going to do this, we will become very good friends. There will be 3 types of training, all prior to a payroll period beginning. So if payroll were to begin on this day, prior to that happening, timekeepers will get training, supervisors will get training, and employees will receive training prior to the first day that somebody inputs data in. And we will also have a support and help desk set up for all those people who don't want to come to class and call at the last minute and say, I can't figure it out. How can departments prepare for this? Ensure that your accrual balances and your data is up to date. Go back and begin to look at that data and make sure that everything is up to date so when we do the transfer, that the data, you can sign off on that and say that it's okay. Complete department preparation checklist. Department checklists will be coming out prior to the rollout of the program. Every department will receive these. Payroll managers, supervisors will be able to go through and make sure that all of their data is up to date. And plan to participate in training. If you don't see me, you're not going to learn the program, and I want you to see me. And then ask questions. The CALTIME program has an email where you can get a hold of us. We're pretty easy to find on campus. Talk to your payroll managers. They'll know exactly where to find us. If you have questions and comments, our email address is right up there. It routes it to all of us, and we can get back to your questions as soon as possible. The entire team is going to be out in the lobby, and we'll be able to answer any questions because we know a lot of questions are very personal to you, and how do you record time, or how does it affect your department? The entire team will be out for the next 30 minutes out in the lobby to answer any particular questions you may have. Thank you very much.